Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Health Chats Among Friends. My name is Deidre Kindred, and I am your nurse advocate, educator, and navigator. And tonight, I have a special friend that I couldn't wait to get here to talk to you guys tonight, Crystal Weber with Sharing Solace. So, Crystal, say hi to everyone.
Hello, hello. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. So, Crystal, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yep.
So I'm Crystal Webster. I am the founder and chief solace officer of Sharing Solace. But more importantly than that, I, above all, am Madelyn's mother.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about that story because your story is amazing.
Well, thank you.
So let's get to your why of sharing solace and what is sharing solace?
Well, Sharing Solace is a community of grievers for grievers. We help grievers grieve and lovers love their griever through tangible gifts that are wrapped in a community of love and support. How I got there is May 19th, 2010. My beautiful daughter, Madelyn Elizabeth, was born. She lived for 8 hours, and then she died May 20th, 2010, in my arms. She had a genetic condition that, come to find out, I have and passed along to her that made it impossible for her to sustain her own life. And we didn't know that until just before she was born. So needless to say, probably, I spiraled into a deep depression. I was a mess. And for about 5 years, I was really just living my life waiting to die. And for some reason, I decided I couldn't do that anymore. I either needed to fish or cut bait kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I decided to live, and I started taking baby steps to kind of begin to find joy and gratitude and all those things in my life. And then really, as soon as I started doing that, it was like a bolt of lightning that the concept of sharing solace hit me. And I honestly believe that Madelyn up there was saying, okay, Mom, this is what we're going to do.
Yes.
This is how we're going to help people.
Well, first of all, you are such a strong, beautiful, powerful woman. And thank you so much for sharing that because, we all go through grief and loss, and there's no words, at times. I lost my mom in January of 2008. And even though we were preparing for it, you never really can prepare for it, right? It's just, yes, she was 55. So, yeah, so still young, but your story is such a powerful story for others to touch others. And I believe that's what Madelyn wants, for you to be able to touch others with your story. So when you say, did you say trinkets? Was that the term you used, or
I prefer
memorabilia?
keepsakes.
Keepsakes. Okay, I want to make sure I use the right word. So describe some of these keepsakes because your website is wonderful, which we will mention later on. But describe some of the keepsakes that you are referring to, or you can hold them up, or.
Well, I'll show you one. How about that?
Awesome.
If I can get it out. Well, I'll show you two. I'm wearing my necklace because I love my necklace. And then here's the keychain.
Okay.
And the idea is that you get it like this. It's given to you during that heavy initial grief. You keep it near your heart as long as it brings you comfort. And then when it starts to not do that anymore, because that's just kind of how grief works, it symbolizes that you're ready to release that debilitating, can't function grief. And that's when you open it up. It opens up just like a locket. You take out this middle token, put this middle token into a new locket, and then you'd pay that new locket forward onto somebody else that you know.
That is such a beautiful concept. So for those who will not, I want to cry almost. I'm trying to contain myself.
Me too.
So for those who cannot see, because we have video and we have the audio,
Right.
it looks like a little coin. And does that have an initial on there? Can they get it engraved, or what is it?
So the middle piece just has a design on it. If you see an initial in it, then that's what it's supposed to be for you.
Okay.
But it's just kind of supposed to represent the ups and downs and loop-de-loops of grief.
Right, right.
And you pass this middle piece along. So this, you don't really want it too customized.
Okay.
Because the intention is to pass it along. The outer piece is what you can engrave with whatever you'd like on it, pretty much.
Okay, so it's like a little locket, and you put the coin in the middle of the locket. It's beautiful, guys, for those who cannot see it. And if you want to see it, make sure you go to her website, which we're going to mention later on in this chat. Yeah. So, man, I want to hug you. Your story is so powerful. I wish I would have known about that. So if it's several people who have lost, there's no limit on how many people can get the trinket, right?
Mm-mm.
That's awesome.
You can pass it from person to person. The really neat thing the thing that I think is really neat is what's called our token tree. So each of the tokens has a unique identifier on it. So you can register it on our website and actually follow it as it moves from person to person. So you can go to that page on our website and see a visual representation of all the people that have held this close to their heart, which I think is just so powerful to me.
So how are you getting the word out about sharing solace? Okay, no, let me back up. How did you come up with the name? It makes sense to me, but I want for our listeners to know, how did you come up with that name?
A lot of thinking. A lot of writing down words. Okay, I don't really like that word. Dictionary.com was my friend because I knew what I was trying to convey. I just didn't have the right word, like kind of like that on the tip of your tongue kind of thing. And sharing, because you pass this along, the intention is that you share it from person to person. Mm-hmm. And solace is kind of finding happiness in your pain, finding joy through the grief. And I think there's something very, very powerful in combining those two words.
Yeah.
And just those words by themselves. Because when I was going through my initial grief, I don't want to say you ever get over grief, because we both know you don't. Mm-hmm. And also you need to, I feel like, allow yourself to release that initial heavy, debilitating grief and move on to let your grief scab over kind of and scar up.
Right.
And so I felt very alone and isolated, and it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more I felt alone, the lonelier I got. But I realize now that there is a huge community of grievers out there. It's just not spoken about a lot. And so it's easy to brush it under the rug.
Wow. And it's so heartwarming to be able to share and be able to make someone else feel like, oh, somebody else cares. They understand where I'm at. They understand where I've been. They understand the day-to-day, because it's some days sometimes that's different for everybody. Like I remember my sisters and I have two sisters. I'm the prettiest. And we were talking about things, mom, just different things. And we have our own days. Mother's Day is harder for one of my sisters than it is for me. the day she passed, that's the day that's hard for me. And that Christmas is harder for another sister. So it just depends, you know, and if we would have had a little trinket hole, that's so cute. I love the idea that, you know, each sibling can get it and they go through their own process because everybody's not at the same stage of grief. And you may have some people that want to hold on to it forever, but you may have some people that want to hold on to it, you know, okay, now I'm getting better. I want to make someone else feel better. So that's the whole concept that I'm getting behind sharing solace. It's all about, okay, I heal myself and I get through what I need to get through, and then I can help someone else.
Yep.
I think that is so beautiful, Crystal. That is such a beautiful thing. So, how do you get the word out? I mean, do you go to support groups? Because there's so many grief support groups that, you know, would love to learn about this.
Yeah.
I would think.
I do a lot of partnering with other organizations that kind of, you know, are in the same grief arena. You know, my story is the loss of my child, and there's unfortunately no shortage of support groups for child loss.
Yeah.
So I tend to work with more of those organizations just because
Mhm.
that is my personal story.
Yeah.
But I love to just partner with and collaborate with organizations that mesh well with mine so that we can amplify our message and
Absolutely.
help people know that they're not alone.
Right. Right. And then to have that close to your heart. I just love that.
Mhm.
I can't help I'm getting all misty eyed over here.
And since I was a little girl, I've been a pearl clutcher, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so every time I do that, I feel my necklace and I'm like, okay, I can get through this. I got this,
Because
whatever
it's
it is.
like almost like a part of them is with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just grab on that out. And it's so funny because my sister, like the holiday times, it's really hard. I think it's hard for a lot of people. And call me crazy, call me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I sometimes talk out loud to my mom now. Like when I'm making the sweet potato pie, or, you know, like, okay, I remember you said, you know, because there's no measurements, but, you know, I'm talking to her out loud while I'm doing the things that she taught me to do. And that's so wonderful. If I would have had a trinket that I have her close to my heart, I think that is beautiful. So do you, wow. So, what year did you say, Miss Baby Madelyn?
Madelyn died in 2010. So it's been just over a decade.
Oh, wow. Wow. Time just flies. It just flies. It just flies. Man, I love your trinkets. I can't help but say that again
Thank
and
you.
again. I mean, I
Thank
wish
you.
everybody could see this, and I'm so excited for you because I think this is just such a wonderful endeavor. It's something that's bigger than yourself. It's so great to be part of something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So,
that's all it is. I mean, yeah, I hope that it is bigger than me.
yeah, it
It's
is.
allowed me to find purpose in my life and a reason to speak Madelyn's name,
Yeah.
and I just love that. I think we
Wow.
all love to say our loved ones' names, especially once they're gone,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's mom or Madelyn or dad or brother or sister.
Right. Right.
It's important to say their name.
Yeah. So that's so great. The journey that you can see the trinket go through because you can see, oh my goodness, it's helping somebody else. It's touching somebody else's life. I love that. So let me walk me through how you would talk with a potential client. Say I were to call and or go online, or what is
Mhm.
that client's experience?
I guess in what sense? In the sense
In
that
the sense
they're
that, say I just lost my mom,
mhm,
right? And I've heard about sharing solace. right? So and I go online, but I may have some questions. Is there a way to contact you? Is there a way to, get you directly? How does that?
Yeah. To get me directly, probably the easiest way is either through the website or, there's a contact us. Us is me. Let's not sugar. Us is
That's
me.
what I want to get at.
Yes. There is no, it just sounds fancier if it's us, but
Well,
it's
that's
contact
fine.
me.
That is fine. It is us.
Yes. It's the royal us.
That's right.
Yeah, you can just go online and, fill out the little form, like what's your email address and what are your questions. Facebook and Instagram are also great ways to get in touch with me.
And so how do before I want to ask one more question before we get into, so how are the trinkets mailed to the person?
Yes.
And they can order so many or at a time, or how does that work?
So they just go to the Sharing Solace website, and there's our boutique section, and you pick out whatever you'd like. You can customize it as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
So you can decide, I want this token in this locket, orientated this way, this color with this word, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
And then we mail it either on your behalf to the person that you want to give it to or directly to you.
Awesome. Okay, that's what I was wanting to get. I couldn't get the words out.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is that website?
Oh, it is sharingsolace.com.
Awesome, awesome. And is there any other way you would like someone to reach you? I know you mentioned Facebook, so what would they go to on Facebook?
If you just search Sharing Solace, you'll find our big pink butterfly.
Butterflies.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's something, there's something very symbolic about a pet caterpillar metamorphosizing into a butterfly.
Yes, yes.
And so,
well,
and I've always kind of envisioned my Madelyn as a pink butterfly.
Well, you know what? You're also a pink butterfly because you evolved, through that whole process, and you came out just blossoming with something that's just such a great, oh my goodness, it's such a great endeavor. It's such a great cause that I think it's going to help and has helped a lot of people. And we want to help you spread that word because we want even more people to know about Sharing Solace.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet.
Oh no, it's from the heart. Crystal, is there any parting words you would like to leave with this evening?
I hope that as you're going along your own grief journey, that you remember that you are not alone. There are many people here that want to help you and support you and love you as you're going through and going along your unique grief journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't let anybody tell you that you should be over whatever it is you're grieving about.
Yes.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Grief has no timeline.
There is no timeline. Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart for tonight. It has been wonderful, even though you nearly made me cry, but I made it through. And I thank you for your time. We'll definitely have to have you back at some other point, when you're when we get into 2021, and then maybe we can hone in on a certain topic of your choice
I'd love that. Anytime I'd love to help you and support you any way that I can.
Oh, you're wonderful. Well, thank you again. And thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is Deidre Kendrick. I'm a nurse advocate, educator, and navigator. I love bringing you reputable resources that you can use to navigate your medical journey. Tune in next time and we'll have another amazing person to chat with. Thank you.